All right. Coffee. It's for the creatures of the night. All right. This is COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the extraordinary Brian Bonsall. But first...
something on my face.
Brian, how are you?
I was rocking out to the tunes, man. That intro reminds me of going to a Gwar show or something like that.
Yes, yeah. Gwar's coming in December.
I know. My birthday's the 3rd, and that show with Napalm Death, that's so awesome, is the 7th, I think, at the Oriental.
Yep. Will we be seeing you there?
Me and my wife would love to go. We're huge fans, and
cool.
I was lucky enough. I was playing with the Ataris for a couple of years, and toured all over the world with them. And I did 35 shows with Gwar, Warped Tour 2017. So I got to watch them every chance I could, and it was just amazing. I was in awe every time.
Oh man, yeah.
Rest in peace, Dave Brockie, because he's a genius, and his passing hit me. I think the hardest out of a lot of celebrities that have,
Gwar was very influential for me. I actually had a performance group where we got dressed up in big latex monster outfits.
Nice.
with big blood cannons hooked up, and we did choreographed battle scenes with a band providing the live score, and then aerialists dropping out of the sky. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's they were absolutely amazing. They still are amazing, and can't wait to see the new iteration.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll sit there, late at night, can't fall asleep. I start looking videos, and there's some old videos of some of their first shows where they're wearing like colanders on their head, and like their outfits were like kitchen utensils, and just like, and now it's just like they've just taken it so far. And the production, the semi truck, multiple semi trucks that come along with them, it is just, their team is just amazing, man.
Yeah, it's I've interviewed them before, and
that's super cool.
Yeah, they're basically like a mini Disney World,
Yeah, no, I mean so cool. It's theater and metal to the max, and Scum Dogs of the Universe will always be one of my favorite albums ever.
Oh, that's cool. Brian, you're an amazing talent. You've got just a ridiculous, acting credits, and you're such an accomplished musician. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into, screen acting, and how you transitioned into music?
Well, with acting, my family, we were living in Fremont, California, Northern California, and my sister is 4 years older, and my mom had got her into modeling a little bit, and some small commercials and things, and we would take the BART, if you know what that is. It's a train in Northern California that goes through San Francisco and Oakland and all that. But we would take the BART, and my sister would go on these interviews, me, my mom, and my sister. And she was on an interview for a teddy bear commercial. And I was about 3 years old. and I kind of ran off, and I wanted to see what she was doing in there, and I kind of poked my head in the interview room, and they saw me, and they changed the part to a boy, and they gave me the part. So that was kind of just like the twist there. That was like, huh. And you know, my sister, she was good at modeling and all that, but she just wasn't really her thing. She wasn't loving it, the attention as much as I was, I guess, when I was little. So that kind of started my career. After that, I did an LA Zoo commercial, Los Angeles Zoo. And then after that, I tried out for Family Ties with, 2,000 other kids. And they basically just said, you know, walk forward, walk backwards, left, right. They want to know that you know your directions at that age. And they said, say Alex is king. And that was it. I basically just got the part the first time. I think a lot of it had to do with the bowl cut that I had, and being able to follow the direction at that age. You know, when you like, I was so young, but I remember bits and pieces, and I can tell you that I remember that interview. I remember it. It was if you've ever watched Family Ties or those Gary David Goldberg shows, they had the sit Ubu sit, good dog. Right. That was his dog, and where they shot that little intro was the front of his office. So that's where I went to try out for the movie, and that was on the set. That was on Paramount Studio lot. And I remember that interview, kids, you know, running around, going crazy, screaming. And my mom's like, you know, you sit still and be quiet. I'll get you whatever you want after this. And, you know, that's what they want. They want a kid who's not, you know, just, I mean, I had my moments for sure, but I could follow direction for the most part.
Well, that's cool. I remember you on Family Ties. I was, you know, I'm a few years older than you, and but I remember watching, you know, those episodes when you came along in that series, and then of course, you know, with Star Trek a little bit later too. Yeah,
and Star Trek was Paramount as well. So I spent a lot of my early life at Paramount, and you know, Star Trek. Though I only, you know, Family Ties, you know, I did 3 years. I did 81 episodes. You know, that was like the family. Star Trek, you know, I did like 13 episodes, I think. There was an actor, John Paul Stewart, rest in peace. He played the part before me, and then they wanted the kid to grow up a little bit and be a little taller and stuff like that. So I took over the role. But working on that show was just awesome. I mean, it was like Halloween every day. I mean, even though the makeup, you know, it was strenuous. It took 2 hours to put on, and had to sit still and stuff. But running around that set was awesome. Going to the makeup department to see all the masks from multiple horror movies and things like that was just like the whole time, you know. It's cool. Cool experience.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty intense, especially at that age. You know, Star Trek has such lineage too. Yeah. You know, such a legacy. You know, going back, you know, so far to the '60s. You know, back then, and has since come quite a ways.
Yeah, so many different shows branched off, and
most definitely. I can't remember. Did you ever get the opportunity to do Deep Space Nine when your Worf was on that show?
I didn't. I hear from people every once in a while. Oh, I saw you on Deep Space Nine, and I'm like, I didn't do that one, so I don't know if they had another actor play the part a little older or what. Because, you know, unfortunately, I didn't. You know, having been on the show and stuff, I haven't seen every episode. And I didn't follow it so much, and so, you know, I'll be doing conventions, and I'll have people come up and speak Klingon to me or ask me these questions that I'm just like, I'm sorry, man, I don't know the answer. I wish I did. But usually it'll push me to kind of want to research what they were talking about. So maybe I know next time, and I don't look like,
Well,
yeah.
that's cool. We'll be having you this year at COFOH at Colorado Festival of Horror.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
10th to the 12th. So it'll be great to see you in person, and I'm sure Brett, one of our co-founders, he'll probably be one of those fans that'll be drilling you in Klingon. So
cool. I met Brett once. I did. I had a booth at it was something to do with Demon Night.
Oh, cool.
It was at the Gothic Theater. Ooh. And the voice, gosh, now I'm going to feel bad because I'm forgetting names, but the voice of Tales from the Crypt, he hosted it.
Yeah, I forget the name too, but I know who you're talking about.
I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue. And I've been a fan of that show. It's just I'm having a brain fart. But anyway, the kid from Child's Play had a booth next to me. And there was a Kiss cover band, and it was fun.
That's so cool. Well, speaking of which, too, I think we're going to be screening, Mikey at COFOH, and
cool.
Can you tell us a little bit about that project?
So I was 8 years old when I did that. Wow. It was Dennis Dempster's. I hope all this is correct. I know it's close, but it was like his first movie out of college, and and it had a small budget, and it was shot mostly in the suburbs of Arizona, like Phoenix area.
Okay.
And man, it was so much fun. I mean, one of the most common, thing after people were other parents were kind of outraged at my mom, why would you let your son do that, sort of thing, because it's a pretty brutal movie,
Yeah.
But I had been acting since I was 3.5 already. I knew what was real and what was fake. I loved horror movies already at 8 years old. Like, I had already done some disturbing movies by that time, some TV movies, and where they would almost edit a version just for me to watch when the movie came out. And it didn't even really make sense because they would pull out the gruesome parts. But anyway, back to that. But that movie was just so much fun to make that horror movie. And everybody was just awesome to work with. I mean, that was one of the things I got lucky with my career in acting. I worked with so many nice people, and Josie Bissett was the girl next door, and she went on to do Melrose Place, and then Ashley Lawrence was the teacher, and she's from all the Hellraiser movies.
Right, love Ashley Lawrence.
Yeah,
she's amazing. In fact, Ben just chimed in. I met Ashley Lawrence once and asked her about Mikey. She said, you were an impressive young actor to work with. What's your memory working with her? She portrayed Mikey's teacher who was slowly catching on to his story. She was lucky.
That's so nice to hear that she said that. I'm honored. She's a great actress. I think what stood out the most working with her was, I shot a slingshot into her face, a metal ball, and it slow mode. They did a trick shot where it was like a plexiglass around the metal ball, and it slowly hits her eye and whap. And I think that scene stuck out the most. But I just remember her being so kind and patient, and her and my mom got along really well, and I think they even ended up maybe going out, dancing or doing something fun off set here and there. I don't know if she still talks to her or not, but I'll have to ask. But yeah, she was awesome to work with.
That's so cool. It sounds like you had a really supportive mom. And good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was really lucky there. You hear some some horror stories about child actors and what's going on with like Britney Spears right now, and just stuff like that. And I just see all this stuff, and I'm just I was lucky. I wasn't really tangled up in those kind of things. Hey, wanted to thank Ben for asking that and for letting me know that's super cool to hear. I really appreciate it.
That's cool. He also chimed in the name of the voice for I think the Crypt Keeper is
John Crosier. Yeah. John Crosier, man. I almost grabbed my phone over here and was gonna look it up, but I was like,
luckily, no need to. We've got people online willing to help us out.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, it's always good to have that support system, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely.
No, that's cool. The since then, like in the I think the early '90s. I remember you were doing some of the Disney films like Blank Check and I think there's a Patrick Swayze film with Fatherhood.
Fatherhood, yeah.
Yeah, what as you were growing up, what was that? How did that experience change? Doing the acting and on screen with in that realm, in that setting.
Well, obviously, I started off with a couple commercials, and then I did Family Ties for 3 years. And Family Ties was a live audience. So it was very different, Monday through Thursday, you would practice in Run Through All. Friday, live audience comes, and it's all, it's all live. You can still have a mess up, and they can still say, run it back. And, the crowd watches how everything works, and it interests them even more. But then moving on, after Family Ties, I didn't really do anything else that was a live audience like that, except for late night talk shows and stuff like that. Doing movies was super cool. After Family Ties, I started doing a string of made for TV movies. And, I did a few weird, creepy made for TV movies. One was Angel of Death with Gregory Harrison, where my mom was Jane Seymour. And,
cool.
And gosh, I mean, I haven't seen it in so many years, but George Harrison's this deranged boyfriend or whatever, and he wants to kill us, and he's tries, to kidnap us, and it's kind of brutal. And then I did another one called Distant Cousins, where I think they changed the name to Desperate Motive later or something like that. But it was another weird, creepy movie where I think it's like our cousins come to visit, and they're weird, deranged people. Yeah. So, and then there's Do You Know the Muffin Man, which is kind of what I was referring to when I said they would edit movies for me to watch, because this was a made-for-TV movie, and it was a true story about a preschool where they were doing satanic rituals with kids and other weird stuff, and sacrificing rabbits and weird things. And it is a true story. It's really, really creepy. So like when it came to like, they'd have these ritual scenes with candles and a pentagram, and it was like there's tunnels underneath the preschool where all this took place. And so they had to edit all that stuff out, and they just gave me this copy to watch as a kid because I'm like, I want to see the movie. And it just made no sense, because it's just all the scenes where it's just dialogue and talking and so yeah, did like I want to say 8 or 9 made for TV movies. I did a movie about the first kid who got AIDS, HIV. It was a true story. Brian White was the real kid's name, and in the movie I played the little brother of Brian White. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think of other. Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme I did, which was like, It was like a special. It was with Shelley Duvall.
Nice. Okay.
The cast on that is endless. There's so many. There's some bands.
Right.
It's like a special. It was like a TV special or something like that. But then, moving on to after doing Mikey when I was 8. I'm pretty sure the next thing. Oh yeah, another TV movie I did was with Natalie Winner. Natalie Cole, Nat King Cole's daughter. It was called Lily in Winter, and I think that was actually the last thing I filmed at 13 years old. The last like TV movie I filmed. But yeah, after Mikey, when I was 8, I went on to do Fatherhood with Patrick Swayze.
Right.
And I was 10 when I did that. And
Cool.
Fatherhood and Blank Check were the two movies I did that did pretty well in the theaters, and it was cool. Fatherhood was just amazing to film. Patrick Swayze was like a dad to me for that, 3 months. I mean, we hit it off right from the start, man. I mean, he let me drive a Cadillac in the desert when I was 10 years old. He he got me super cool gifts. Like he got me this crazy huge butterfly knife when I'm 10, and he's like, "Here you go." And my mom's like, "Okay."
Okay.
This is crazy. So but yeah, man, he was just such a great person. So warm-hearted, fun to work with. I think back on stuff like that now, and being considered an adult now. I'll be 40 this year, but it's got to be hard. It's got to be hard to work with kids, if they're hyperactive or rambunctious or just short attention span. It's got to be hard to be patient if you're a method actor and you're like that's the thing about Star Trek is like so many of those actors are method actors. Like they're in their role all day, whether they're filming or not. They're like, don't talk to me, basically. They put off that vibe. And I'm not saying in a mean way or anything like that. They're just, they're into it. Like that's their part. They live that role. So, Michael Dorn, who played Worf, and Brent Spiner, who's Data, and, they would, break their character here and there to mess around with me. And I think back on stuff like that and I just appreciate it because it's like, I know like they're super, super vigilant about playing that role, being that character. And that's so many people love that show. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it,
Right. The, when you were that age, were you really starting to get into music and really, learn how to play?
I definitely was. I was definitely interested in music from the start. I started playing drums when I was 7 years old. Drum lessons every week, full force. And then I picked up a bass, and my dad got me a bass, and I started to learn where the notes were and what they were called, and then kind of I got really into heavy metal and heavier metal than heavy metal, like Bolt Thrower and Slayer and stuff like that. When I was really young, like I got so into it when I was really young that my mom wasn't too strict or anything, but I started buying some albums and she was like, "Come on, I mean, there's blood and guts and pentagrams all over the cover. Like, should I be letting you listen to this?" And then I'm scribbling in my notebooks at school 666 and pentagram, getting so into it. And so metal was definitely like one of my first loves as far as starting to get obsessed with music and once I found punk rock, probably around 94, I fell in love with punk rock.
Oh, nice.
So, like that was the year I was just like, I don't know, man. It just changed me, and but then it all kind of mixed. I love it all, you know.
Yeah. What do you think was your first punk rock album?
Well, I think the first things that caught my eye in LA when I was little, they had this station on the TV called The Box, and you could call in, and I think you had to pay 99 cents, and you could order a music video. And
Okay.
I saw a video for Rancid, the song Salvation from their album Let's Go that came out that year, and I ordered that video so many times, man. And mom's like, "Come on, you've already watched this." And you think about it now, like you could just own something like that, or look it up anytime you want on YouTube, or watch it over.
Yeah.
And they must have made $100 from me, maybe more. Ordering
Nice.
that video. So I definitely think I think Rancid and Green Day and Offspring, in '94, kind of opened that door for me to punk rock, and then fell in love with all Fat Records bands and NoFX and Lagwagon and Strung Out and all those bands. But it wasn't until I found all those bands that I started going back and to the times before I was born and learning about the Sex Pistols and the Clash, and the Ramones, who actually started punk rock. So it's it's quite an adventure. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially like with bands like NoFX and I think a little bit of Rancid. I can hear that in like Sunset Silhouette. One of your more recent bands. But you mentioned earlier that you've toured around with Atari, Ataris, and I mean, God, you've what an interesting experience to go from film to touring to recording music in studios and doing those type of creative collaborations. It's what fun orchestration that's got to be, right?
Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, kind of after acting and moving away from LA when I was 14, I moved to Colorado with my family in Boulder, and I just wanted to go to normal school, and I wanted to, I was in and out of schools my whole childhood. I just wanted to go to normal school, and I wanted to, start a band and just, I've been playing, local dive bars since, for 20 years, more than that. I was playing in dive bars before I was even 21. So, but yeah, I mean, I had, so many different bands over the years. And then, in the last 5 years was when life changed a lot. I got that opportunity. Chris from the Ataris, messaged me one day and was like, I didn't even know the guy. He messaged me and he was like, "Can I call you?" And I had been a fan of the Ataris for 20 years. And I'm like,
sweet,
call me. Okay. And at first I'm like, is this really him, or like, what's going on here? And he called me and asked if I wanted to play guitar for a tour. And that turned into 9 tours and couple hundred shows all over the world, Russia, a bunch of crazy places, man.
Wow. Just
one of the coolest. It is I think the coolest experience in my life thus far. And, so grateful to the dude. I mean, it's just amazing. He gave me a dream come true. And he's a great dude. The whole band is. And then I married my wife, and then we had a son, and I had the decision to make, and I want to be here with the little guy, and then the world got weird,
right,
with everything going on, so nobody was even really touring around or doing nothing. But
with the pandemic, were you able to keep creating and composing music while you're raising your son?
I was making tunes with Sunset Silhouette. um, and we've just I'm just kind of doing like now that I'm full-time stay-at-home dad. That's just kind of what I'm focusing on. And I got a acoustic duo with a buddy that we've had for almost 10 years now, and we just we play local dives when it works. And we have one EP that we've recorded, and we're probably going to record some more. But he's a new dad as well, so it's just kind of perfect. And I got other bands and projects on the back burner. Maybe we'll record some stuff or do some stuff down the road. But yeah, life changed a lot, and I'm loving being a dad, and he's almost 2.
Nice.
And he's a maniac.
Yep, the terrible twos.
Yeah,
and they're so curious at that age too, and wanting to get at what is dad doing, and all the little things that all the instruments that you're playing with and stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He's super into it. He's already I already got it. I got him one ukulele, and he broke it.
as a future rock star should.
Yes, he's in training.
That's cool. We've got a video loaded up from Sunset Silhouette. What in the world? It's on YouTube, so hopefully it plays. Anybody watching out there, if you can't see it or hear it, message us to let us know, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Cool.
Screen sharing, so much fun. There he goes. All right, here goes. That's. Oh, right. That was fantastic.
Thanks, man.
So cool. I started listening to Sunshine a lot more today. Getting ready for this, I hope you guys are able to at some point in the future get back together and make some more beautiful music, because I think that's pretty.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope so too. I have another band too called Low Job.
Right.
And I've been doing some jam sessions with Ray Bottle Rocket from Teenage Bottle Rocket. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I have. Fantastic. That's awesome.
We've been kind of jamming with his son Milo on the drums, and
cool.
I would love to build something, that maybe one day Ollie could play in the band. Ollie's my son, so I don't know. I've been trying to talk to Ray. Let's build a little band maybe that our kids can live on, and the members can change.
Like a punk rock Partridge Family,
Yeah, there you go, something like that. Yeah, we just get together, do some covers, some Blink covers, and Chicks cool. Dig It, and some cool bands. Yeah,
nice. Nathan's chiming in. He's asking here. Come on, show it up. Would you ever go back to acting more, or is music your focus now?
I think being a dad is my focus right now. I've done some little cameos and stuff here and there as far as acting, but nothing full force. I did an interview when I was I think I was 15 or 16. I did an interview with, it was either E! Entertainment or VH1 or one of those, and I kind of said I wasn't really interested in acting much anymore. Okay. And this was many years ago. So opportunities kind of just dropped off for me. That's kind of how the business works, And while I was young and a little naive, I was just at that age where I was I had moved away from LA, and I didn't want to keep flying back and forth and interviewing. I just wanted to go to school at the time and play music and hang out with normal kids. So I didn't get many opportunities. It kind of just became a different lifetime. Okay. But no, I'm not opposed to doing something cool. If a cool role came along, or something like that, it would be pretty fun. I have fun doing conventions and stuff. And Nathan, speaking of, he's super cool. He I'm on that website Cameo.
Yeah.
And he got a cameo from me the other day for his wife for their 10-year anniversary. And,
nice.
And he asked if I would play the Family Ties theme song. So I sent him his cameo at the very end because I was practicing the song when I was free from being a dad, for that 3 days. And then I played the Family Ties song on guitar. So.
That's awesome. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Nathan's got another question too. Has the Next Generation cast is coming back for the Picard show. Has anybody contacted you?
Nope, no one has contacted me. I did just sign a bunch of cards because every few years or so they'll send me a couple thousand trading cards, and I sign them all. And nice. But no, I haven't heard anything about the Picard show. I was gonna do a Star Trek convention at one point. I don't know what happened. I think it was right before the pandemic happened or whatever. Okay. But I did talk to Michael Dorn on the phone, and it had been
That's
so
cool.
many years. It was so cool, you know, to hear his voice and and say hi to him and catch up if only for a second. But we were gonna share a booth together and do it as a duo, and I thought
that would be cool.
that would be so cool. And it was like I think it was like the 25th anniversary of my first episode or something like that. I don't know, but it fell through, unfortunately. But it would be cool to go to Vegas and do one of those Star Trek conventions. I haven't done one. Funny enough, I do conventions here and there, and I'll have people come up with like a leather jacket, you know, that has everyone's signature on it, and they'll be like, "I never see you at conventions, and finally, you know, I got all the signatures," and they're just so excited, and it's super cool.
Well, you know, this year people will know to come to Colorado Festival of Horror.
Yeah, come to the Colorado Festival of Horror
to get your signature on their jackets.
Yeah,
or maybe some other things too. Maybe the occasional body part, something awkward.
Yeah, bring some cool stuff. I think there's some action figures out there of me too.
That's fun.
I don't even own one, but I think there's some from like the Western episode.
Nice.
Fistful of Datas, I think it's called.
Yeah,
I think that was the most fun episode. That was my favorite, I think.
Oh, that's so cool. Nathan says, thanks, man. It was awesome.
Nathan.
Thanks again.
Super cool. We shared some. He messaged my page too, and we shared some messages. He's a super cool dude. I wish you the best.
Nice, and he's also a big fan of Low Job.
Nice. I hope I'm trying to get those guys to record something new soon. I record my music at the Descendants studio. Bill Stevenson of Black Flag and the Descendants. So I'm trying to get those. We have a bunch of songs that we didn't. We have one EP, but we have a bunch of songs that we had written after that we never recorded. So I'm trying to get those dudes to come with me and go record them and maybe play some shows too. It'll be fun.
Nice. You mentioned you're not you're open to opportunities in terms of popping up on films and making appearances. Before we went live, we were talking about the sausages. With our friends Groovy and
Low Job was in that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because we played. They filmed us playing, and we had dancers and booty shorts and dancing around us, and maybe I don't know if they had roller skates on or not. I don't know, but so Low Job was in that, and then they were in the scene too. Cool. The whole band was in the scene. I get killed with a sausage shoved through my head. So the band walks in, and they're like, no, and our bass player BJ is just I think he's eating a hot dog or something, and he's just whatever. And our drummer Trevor's like, no, and then our guitar player is like, no, and BJ doesn't care at all. He's just whatever.
Yeah. But those projects are so fun, and so so many friends just getting together, doing a creative project. Oh, and here's Mel. He just chimed in.
I know. Yeah.
Can you score the sequel to Sausages?
That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Mel. Brian, I'm sorry you're on the hook.
How you doing, Mel? It's good to hear from you, man. I think he was the magic behind all that. Right.
Yeah. Mel's camera work is absolutely spectacular, and my buddy they had my buddy the Enigma on there as well, and so it's
I did
being in there.
Enigma's super cool. I did another show at I played a pop punk acoustic set with a bunch of metal bands at
cool.
Black Sky Brewery. And Enigma performed as well. So it was an interesting, it was my pop punk, whiny love songs and things like that. And then there was a metal band before us and after us. We were just thrown in, and then Enigma performed. That was super fun, man.
That's cool. That sounds crazy eclectic, but those are the type of shows I really enjoy.
Yeah, a mashup kind of.
Yeah, most definitely.
That'd be super cool, Mel. It's good to hear from you, man. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw him at Groovy's Memorial on Saturday as well. So many great people came out and to remember him, and of course, he just keeps living on because he's
such a great guy.
So many creative communities here in Denver.
Yeah.
And then we were talking too about your participation in Alien Danger. With Bill Arukin and James, the director there. Tell us a little bit more about that experience, because I thought that was just hilarious.
Well, James hit me up and asked if I wanted to be in the movie, and I said I did, but I couldn't get out to LA last minute like that in a few days. Right. So he was still interested, and I said, well, what if, he was the one who brought it up. He was like, what if you guys film it yourself? So I'm like, okay. And he kind of gave me the rough script of what he wanted me to say and stuff like that. And it's just a short cameo, a short clip. And so I had my wife film it. And it worked out really good, man. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, a minute long or something like that, but it worked really good. And I had what do I say? I had a burrito. I was supposed to have a burrito and it's like, I gotta go eat this burrito or something like that. And I had a tortilla wrapped in napkins, and then I run off down the street. We kind of shot it at sunset, so the sky was all beautiful, that Colorado sky, and in suburbia, and it worked out great, man. It was fun to do.
That's awesome. Well, we can't wait to see that film, and we can't wait to see you in person. Mel just chimed in again. Super happy to see you here. Awesome. He's doing great.
It's good to hear. I hope to see you sooner than later, buddy.
Yeah, Mel, you better come out to COFOH.
Come out to the convention. Say hi.
Yeah, we'll throw you in a panel or something. But Brian, thanks so much for coming on the show and talking.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yes, talking so much about your art, your performing, your acting, and the music. I think you've lived quite a life, and I can't wait for you to share it with your son and your family.
Me too. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Kind words.
Go ahead, stick around for a few minutes while we sign off. But again, thanks for coming on the show, and to catch Brian live and in person, and to get those elusive Star Trek signatures, come to Colorado Festival of Horror. That's September the 10th through the 12th, and go to COFOHorror.com to get your tickets too.
Good.
And Brian, you're going to be screening Mikey and doing a Q&A. Am I right?
I am, and I've never done one of those. So, I will be honest. There's a little bit of nerves because I've just never done one, and I've done a bunch of conventions, but I've never agreed to the Q&A panel. So this time I was like, I'm just gonna do it all. Brett's super cool, and I'm gonna do my best. But the disclaimer is I was young, and a lot of it is blurry, and even at 39 years old, sometimes I'm like, I need to ask my mommy what happened, because she was there for it all. So it's like sometimes, so yeah.
Sure. Well, you'll do just well. And Bill said he's going to be there, so you'll get more support there. And cool. Nathan wishes he could be there, but he's on the other side of the world.
Well, hopefully I can get over to Australia and do a convention. I would love to. I've never been to Australia, and I would love to come visit and see your land.
That's cool. Nathan, you have your marching orders. Book him at one of your Australian shows.
I have a bunch of cool 8x10s for the convention from Mikey and Blank Check and Family Ties, bunch of cool ones. So
Oh, fantastic!
come get one.
That's going to be awesome. I will get one from you. And thanks again, sir, for coming on. And
thanks to everybody who watched.
Yeah, thank you. The special thanks to Hellfire Entertainment for broadcasting us on your social media. Our friends at Mutiny Information Cafe. If you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And of course, the ever immortal Groovy TV. We miss you, big guy. We carry on with you in our heart. So, and to everybody out there who tuned in, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you at Colorado Festival of Horror in September, and remember to look out for each other, help each other out during these tough times, and we love you. Have a good night, everybody.